Well, hello there, you beautiful mortal souls! Welcome back to another edition of the daily live stream. This is the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube channel, and we are back at it again. It is a beautiful Thursday night / early Thursday morning. A nice, cool. It feels like fall outside. It's nice and cool outside. Nice little bit of fog, a little bit of beautiful weather going on right now. I could not be more excited. Less strain on my air conditioner system means I pay less money, right? And today it is Thursday, and we do have plenty of interesting things to cover in this analysis here today. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. Check the links in the description below. Blackfire Technical Analysis official Facebook page. Link is down below, and our Twitter handle is also in the description below, as well as the disclaimer for each and every video that I put out. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started today. We're going to obviously start. I do have Bitcoin pulled up, but we're not doing Bitcoin first. We're obviously starting with NASDAQ. What do we got on NASDAQ here? Yeah, a little bit of a break of support here on today's candle closure. Considering this one being the most current closure. Nice little break of support there. Basically, breaking the bottom side of the range here. I did consider this a range for a little bit of time here. Again, not so much on a candle body closing basis, but on we see the wicks here. Right? We see the wicks coming up. Candle bodies closing here. There's a little bit of a range, not too clean of a range, but a range nonetheless. And we saw that small range here break to the downside, confirming a candle below that support region here. I'm going to be looking for today's price action to either bounce back up, right? Bounce back up and continue consolidating here, because realistically, if you wanted to argue, right, we can pull that, we can pull that down and still argue that it's still consolidating on a daily time frame. It is a very, very, very valid point here, but I like to play with candle bodies here. And I do have a little bit of a break of support here, coming in, looking at potential, rejection, potential test of new tentative resistance here at $15,600. If confirmed as new tentative resistance here, I will be looking for price action to pull a little bit more closer towards that 21 exponential here, somewhere around 15,430, maybe even a little bit of a stab at the prior all-time high breakout point here, 15,375, before coming back and doing a little bit of further disposition. We do have stochastics here, not so momentously, but continuing down to this, to the south just a little bit, but nonetheless still remains in the bullish critical zone here. RSI. Nice little tick up after confirming a full break of the bottom side of the bullish control zone. The little microstructure here is still very valid. The long-term structure is very valid. When I talk about pullbacks, you guys, I want everyone to be aware that I'm not talking about some kind of heinous debacle of a bear market all the way into this blue box territory. I'm just, I'm looking for every target, right? I'm looking for every level, to play in some way, to the downside or to the upside, depending on the conditions that are met. For now, I am looking at a little bit more downside price action movement here, potentially, maybe looking for, another higher low structure off the 21 exponential before continuing on to new all-time highs. I do still think this market is extremely bullish. No bearish divergence on the current mapping to be aware of. New all-time highs, no bearish divergence, still looking very, very, very positively structured here. Outside of some pullback action here, I'm still going to be looking, medium term to longer term for new all-time highs, somewhere around the 1.414 Fibonacci extension. What does that put us? About 15,780. Again, it doesn't have to happen, and I could be proven wrong, but the way the market is looking, it's still looking pretty fucking bullish, right? Still pretty bullish until we look at Dow Jones, which is a little concerning in my opinion. But Nasdaq looks pretty good right now. Looking for a little bit of a pullback, not out of the question. Or again, if price action confirms a low here and continues onwards and upwards, then we'll have a little bit of a higher low structure here, and the disposition would remain the same. Looking for new all-time highs. highs, again, until proven otherwise, which would be a open and closure below that 21 exponential, you know, a little bit of a pullback, looking for another higher low structure. I am on higher low alert right now until proven otherwise. But, you know, for argument's sake, let's say, you know, we see that 21 break, right? An open and closure below the 21 exponential, and I will be looking for a fully extended pullback all the way to this region here, somewhere around $15,180, as I would likely be looking at a potential change of behavior here. While I do think this is more of an inconsequential higher low, you know, seeing candles close below that region here at 15,280 would be a little bit concerning for price action, because that would be indicative of a little bit of a change of trend here, a little bit of a change of behavior. But you know, we're well and far away from that as it stands right now. I'm not looking for any kind of price action even close to that target, again, until proven otherwise. And that's kind of where I'm going to leave NASDAQ. I do believe the disposition is a little bit the same here on SPY futures, putting a lot more pressure on that 21 to be more realistic with you guys. Actually, we got a down open below the 21 exponential, but inconsequential as it is. You know, we're still holding the 21 exponential as you know, tentative support here until proven otherwise. You know, if we do see you know, a nice little bounce, it wouldn't be out of question to see a little bit of a retest of yesterday's open, somewhere around 4,500 bucks. But ultimately, what do I want to look for you know, confirmation of continuation? At the bare minimum, I want to see a low print here off the 21 exponential. You know, obviously above yesterday's open to confirm that low. I want to see RSI curl back to the upside, confirming this, you know, mini fork off as tentative support still. And continuation, obviously, but we do see stochastics here losing momentum, looking at potentially putting a little bit more pressure on that micro uptrend structure that we have right here, albeit the upturn, the upside structure here long term is still extremely valid. You know, the structure is like, all right, here's a long term structure for you, and then here's another potentially long term structure for you. You know, we got two trend lines here on stochastics, both very valid for play in my opinion, and that's kind of how I'm looking at stochastics. Momentum going to the downside. You know, both, you know, on both momentum oscillators technically, although we do see a little bit of like sideways action here on RSI. We are coming off a fresh bearish divergence here, and I do believe the pressure is a little bit to the south. But again, the disposition remains the same as long as price action remains above that 21 exponential. Again, the 21 exponential being my main source of edge for price action here. It's not the only source of edge, but it is the determining factor. Oh, Jolly Lover, Jolly Lover. Oh, as I was saying to you before, man, this is my other job here. I'm a day trader, bro, and this is technical analysis. Welcome to the beast. I tried to remind some of the gaming followers here that I do not primarily use this YouTube channel for gaming. I want to make that abundantly clear for everybody. I am a technical analyst, where I use technical analysis to identify high reward, low risk trade setups in the stock market and cryptocurrency market. So that's what you're looking at, brother. I am conducting an analysis for the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube channel. Welcome. That's what I'm doing. So we're going to go ahead and get right back onto it here. Again, we are seeing price action above the 21. If we remain above the 21, I'll have no reason not to look for price action to extend to this resistance here, 45.20. I pay myself, sir. I pay myself. The stock market pays me. Yeah, I put money into the market. I pull money out of the market, assuming that my trades and positions go in my favor. And, you know, again, above the 21, I have no reason not to think price action won't extend to 45.21. But if we do see this region here break, the 21 break here, I will be, I will be very cautious for the next couple, the next, open and closure, to be quite honest with you, as I would be looking for the next open closure to potentially close below, at which point I do believe price action could shatter through 44.70 and swing all the way down to this region here at 44.15 spot 50. Oh. KC Pumpman, SLV. Oh, you want me to do some? Do you send the stream to your bot? No, this is. I got some questions coming in today. So this is one of those jobs that self-employed. Like for this job, I'm my boss. I tell me what to do. I am just explaining, how I'm trading the market and profiting from the market. I do a vast array of different markets. KC Pumpkin, if you want analysis on silver, dude, I will definitely do analysis on silver for you. Just let me know, and I'll definitely get to the requests here after the main bulk of the stream. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue onwards here. As far as SPY futures is concerned, though. we're putting pressure on the 21 exponential here. I'm looking for an open and closure below, or to continue to hold this region as support. We have the targets. We see a little bit of loss of momentum here on momentum oscillators, and that's kind of where I'm going to leave that. But I would expect if SPY futures breaks, I'm going to be likely looking for NASDAQ to follow suit here. Going on to Dow Jones here, a little bit more evident, basically telling of where the market could potentially be going here. Again, follow through on that continuation below the 21 exponential. We have been paying attention to this for the past 3 days. We got the first initial break off that bearish divergence drive, and now we have a break of structure on RSI and a very critical read, printing a new low on RSI below that 50 read, that critical signal that we pay attention to on the RSI. And as stated before, the first target that I'm going to be looking for here for price action is 34,700 for Dow Jones Industrial here. Stochastics being very telling as well, back below the bottom side of the bullish control zone, creeping deeper and deeper into the neutral zone, looking for a stab at that 50 read here. Definitely a tell. And we got a lower high structure here on price action in comparison. So if we do take out this low, I will be screaming downtrend here for Dow Jones Industrial Average, and I will at which point be looking for a much lower low, all the way to the next target down at 33,950, right? But well and far away. That's well and far away. I want everybody to be very, very, very aware of that. We are very well and far away. The first target still hasn't been met, although I do believe price action is likely to extend to that target to the downside. We have to talk about the upside possibilities as well. We could easily see this revert back up, and any candle closure, I would say, I would be comfortable with saying above 35,000 here would likely spike RSI back up, confirm some bullish divergence here, and confirm a higher low as well, at which point I would be looking for moves back above the 21 exponential and back above 35,250. And if we do get a higher low structure here, maybe we have some other kind of conversations here to talk about. Again, anything's possible in the market. Anything at all is very possible. And seeing a little bit of a higher low could be exciting for that drive to new all-time highs. But am I confident in saying that that's the most likely outcome? No, I think the most likely outcome is further continuation to that $34,700 target to the downside first and foremost. Then we can come back and kind of do a little bit of redisposition here and talk a little bit further. We have a couple of upside targets. We have a couple of downside targets. We know that momentum is starting to wane to the downside. I think that's going to do it for Dow Jones. We're gonna check out Dixie here, the U.S. dollar index. Ooh, playing with dangerous waters. This one is, oh boy. Okay, so we do have a little bit of a potential. I see. This is where I disagree with RSI. I don't know why this is not called a lower high. This is clearly a lower high. We have a bearish engulfing candlestick coming off at the top here, back below the 21 exponential, looking to potentially use the 21 exponential once again as tentative resistance. This is a fucking top. This is the top, you guys. I do not understand how this isn't. Maybe we need to see continuation below maybe this wick here. That's definitely a possibility. I could be wrong, but I could swear on a freaking stack of universal Bibles here that this is a freaking top. A bearish engulfing candlestick engulfing this prior candle closure here below the 21. A cross of the exponential not being called a top is very, very, very confusing to me. I don't really understand what that's all about. We got a perfect example here of where bearish engulfing candlestick confirms a top in the past here. This is a perfect example. Bearish divergence off of this top, followed by a bullet or bearish engulfing, called it a top literally on closure. This should be a top here. I am going to go against my trading rules following Caretaker's RSI, and I'm going to call this a top. I am going to be looking for continuation, assuming another candle body closes below the 21 exponential, all the way back down to the current low at 92.1 even. Again, unless we revert back up above the 21 exponential, I do not have upside targets, although if we do see a closure above 92.60, I will look for continuation to new highs all the way back up at 92.80. We do have RSI crossing back above the bullish control zone here into the neutral zone, so there's a little bit of validity for the bearish perspective that maybe this isn't a top. And RSI, clearly not calling a top either, but we got that fresh break below the 50 read here and below the exponential. A lot of the pressure is to the downside. Is the stock market legal? Yeah, dude, this is 100%. I wouldn't be streaming if this shit wasn't legal, bro. Yeah, it's 100% legal. You can be a day trader. You can get into the stock market. If you're interested at all, man, you've already subscribed. Click that link in the description below. Come join the Blackfire Technical Analysis community on Facebook. We're about 300 strong right now. I'm always looking, always looking to expand. And this is the bulk. This is the bulk of what I do here on the channel. It's mostly market analysis. While I do, I do some, break times, during the weekends and stuff sometimes. I work a day job and then I come home and work this job. Looking for, trade setups to profit. Yeah, I don't know about, I think you're the guy that said he's in Australia. I don't know if I don't know how the market plays in other countries, but here in the US, definitely legal, man. You can trade anything your heart desires. You can trade shit stocks, you can trade bomb stocks, you can trade shit coins, you can trade Bitcoin. It's all to your prerogative, brother. TradingView.com, it's open to, I would assume, everybody, right? I don't see how the stock market could be illegal to trade, but here we are. But we're going to go ahead and move on with Dixie here. We do see a little bit of downside price action movement in price action here today. I don't know why this is not considered a top here. I would be looking at this as a top, to be quite honest with you. But you know what? Maybe I'll go with the brunt of the stick here and say, maybe we see continuation below 92.38, which is yesterday's wick low. If we get a closure below there, it's guaranteed we're going to see a little bit of a top here. How much do you profit from the stock market? I am not going to disclose that information here. Let's just say that at the moment in time, it's not enough to make a living off of, but you can make fortunes, like literal fortunes, millions out of the stock market, which obviously is my underlying goal. This is why I do the stream every night. I don't only do the stream for the Blackfire Technical Analysis community. I use it as my own personal journaling log and my own psychology log, so that I can come back to these videos, take a look at my analysis, and see my own psychology of the market from my own perspective. I can learn from myself, essentially, instead of using a handwritten trading journal like a lot of traders do. I decided to do streams and get feedback from the public and use it as a kind of a journaling device. Yeah, dude. That's why I'm doing this, because it can be very, very, very profitable. But you have to learn. You have to learn a lot. This is about my 4th year in technical analysis here. I'm finally getting that consistent profit over time. Right. I'm starting to become a lot more profitable over time. I have made big chunks of money from the stock market and from the cryptocurrency market, but not enough for me to be comfortable with saying that I can do this full time and be a stay-at-home husband and a future stay-at-home dad. So we're gonna go ahead, talk about Dixie here. What are the potentials? Again, with this candle closure below the 21, I would be looking for price action to move all the way down to 92.1. However, if we revert back above the 21 exponential here, price action likely bounces back to new highs up at 92.80, give or take. And I don't want to go for any further targets, because this is a little bit, this is a little weird, right? I was looking for another open and closure above the 21 coming in yesterday, after we saw yesterday, or the candle close on the 7th here, and boom, right through. Anything can happen in this market. That's why you prepare for everything, expect nothing. While personally, I did have a little expectation for this. Looking at momentum oscillators coming into yesterday off that bullish divergence call, things were looking to the upside. I did think that the statistical probability of the market coming, a little bit more to the upside was there, but boom, proven wrong I was. So again, I'm not disappointed. I'm not upset. That's, again, prepare for everything and expect nothing. If you fail to plan, your plan is to fail. So that's going to be it for Dixie here. What does this mean for Bitcoin? Let's go ahead and take a look. the main trading asset. Again, I am trading the 21 exponential very, very, very closely here today. I am monitoring my risk. I actually decreased my risk today. Another candle closure below the 21 exponential forced another tick to the downside on Bitcoin here, allowing me to mitigate my risk a little bit less here. I do believe it's a little bit less than 2% now, something like 1.25% is my current risk. I'm very, very, very happy with that. Cannot complain. You know, at the end of the day, if the trade doesn't work out, the most I can hope for is a break-even position where I don't lose anything at all. And that's why I mitigate the risk off the 21 exponential. But we got a third candle closure below the 21. My confidence is through the roof on this. Although RSI is one of those laggards here that may be suggesting we could see a little bit of a bounce, a little further up first. Maybe see a bounce all the way back up to the 21 exponential here. Potentially test the 21 here. But my disposition still stands as long as price action remains below the 21 exponential here. I'm going to be looking for price action to revert to this first target and likely over time to the 42,250 region here, this blue box territory. However, you could definitely argue that this is still a higher low structure. We can highlight this point right now. We got our first base low here after, well, actually, let's move down. Let's pull the structure out here. We got our base low at roughly 29,000 bucks, almost 30,000 bucks here. Base low followed by a new high, break of the structure outside of the range, and then higher low. Uptrend confirmed. Higher high, right? Higher low. Higher high, higher low, question mark, potentially, maybe, maybe. Here's what's convincing me that maybe not, right? We do see stochastics here, straight dive into new lows, taking out the structure, breaking the bottom side of the bullish control zone, looking for a sharp decline to that 50 read, that neutral read. I would have to argue that the market is potentially neutral. It is not out of the question to see price action consolidate below the 21 exponential. As a matter of fact, we may be looking at a potential range opening up between 44,600 and the top side resistance at 47,000. Again, that's assuming that we see price action today close below this resistance here. I would be looking for price action to continue to the downside all the way towards the bottom side of the potential range at 44,568. If we see price action revert, hold, and bounce, I do believe we are looking at a period of consolidation before potentially looking at price action reverting to the downside, right? Again, as long as price action remains below that 21 exponential, I'm going to be looking to the south, right? Why would I be looking up? I got a request. Higher low, but not a higher high. We have the higher high. We definitely have the higher high. I'll go ahead and highlight that one more time right here real quick. Uptrend is still technically potentially valid. Although I don't think it will hold, I do believe there is still some potential here. And we're going off of candle body closers, right? We got our base low right here before the beginning of the uptrend, followed by a test of resistance here, putting in a high. Boom. Here's a higher low in conjunction with the prior low here. Price action continues to new highs, prints another higher low, continues to new highs, and is potentially forming another higher low. All of these points are valid. While I do think price action potentially reverts and takes out the entire structure as a whole, my main strategy is that 21 exponential, and rule of law per my own trading rules says I will not violate a trade off of the 21 exponential. As long as price action is below the 21 exponential, I am going to be looking for price action to destroy the uptrend completely, print new lows, and begin to reverse to the downside. Again, I'm not saying that it has to happen like that, but it's definitely one of the possibilities that I'm looking at. So I'm looking at price action to the downside. I'm looking at price action to potentially consolidate. Any candle closure above the 21 exponential, I will have no reason not to think price action won't come up and test the $50,000 region once again, although clear resistance, right? We gotta be careful of that resistance. Again, the prior couple of streams here, I was talking about this blow off top here at 52,800 bucks, getting met with potential heavy resistance and bearish divergence, and lo and behold, something that I did say was a possibility actually played out. Boom, bearish divergence, rejection of the bullish critical zone, straight through the 21, straight through support, now acting as new tentative resistance. I'm going to be looking for price action to move to the downside. This looks a little bit convoluted here. Boom, there we go. We're going to move this bad boy up. There we go. So that's kind of how I'm looking at Bitcoin right now. And, you know, I would be looking for Bitcoin to, you know, continue onwards and upwards if the US dollar index continues to decline. However, if you know, if we get a little bit of fake out on the U.S. dollar index and it starts to rise again, I think things are going to get pretty nasty and things are going to unfold to the downside for Bitcoin here. But that's where I'm going to leave Bitcoin. I do believe it is time for AMC. Boom! New highs confirmed. A break of resistance confirmed. What happens from here? We do see stochastics here giving a little bit of weakness as a sign here, kind of starting to curl over a little bit. I'm not saying that's a death sentence nonetheless. I'm saying that maybe we do see a little bit of a test of support here, but nonetheless, we are in the bullish critical zone for the first time since this region here back in June. So it is a little bit of, you know, a little bit of excitement. It wouldn't be out of the question to see price action pull back, stochastics pull back, base a low on the bottom side of the bullish control zone before seeing continuation to the upside, but my main disposition, like a broken record, as I've been saying, as long as price action remains above the 21 exponential, I'm going to be looking for overall continuation. That is not barring any kind of, you know, unprecedented event with a, you know, a swan dive below the 21 exponential. As long as we see price action above the 21, I will look for general continuation. I will look for the general trend to stay up, and the trend is your friend until the end, guys. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend. We have no signs of this trend coming to an end just yet, and you know, as long as the trend is moving upwards, I'm going to be looking for targets to the upside. The fact that we broke this region, confirming it as new tentative support coming in tomorrow is possible, and if it does confirm as new tentative support with a secondary candle closure above it, I'll be looking for that $53 target that we've been talking about for oh so long now. And then maybe, you know, maybe a little bit more of a violent pullback from that region. I do believe the $53 region is a very, very, very critical price action level here. There isn't that much price action history above that $53 target here for AMC. So I would be on the cautious side. I am going to be looking to potentially, you know, close some of my position out at that $53 target here. So as far as upside, that's the target. You know, unless we revert, you know, put in a top here. And again, it is possible we put in a top here, revert all the way back down to the 21, but I am on higher low watch until proven otherwise, and that proof otherwise would be an open and closure below 42.30 at the time of recording, which would lead me to believe the next target to the downside is likely 39. We'll just call that 40 bucks even. But again, momentum oscillators doesn't suggest that price action. Actually seeing new highs, barely, but new highs confirming on RSI, stochastics breaking into the bullish critical zone. Things are lining up for continuation, and we got some of that continuation today. I do not think this run is quite over just yet. Again, barring any kind of black swan event that forces price action to the downside, I'm bullish on AMC. MMAT, let's go ahead and take a look at that one. Metamaterials Incorporated, boom, basically, ooh, close, but no cigar. Close, but no cigar. Potentially looking to formulate a higher low structure off of this support right here at $4.91. We do see a little bit of confirmation of support off the exponential for RSI, you know, aiming back to the upside. Both the exponential and RSI are positive, still above that 50 read here. I do like that. Stochastics curling to the upside, printing new highs. I like that signal as well. Things are gearing up, I do believe, for a potential continuation. If we do see a candle closure back above $5.42, man, I do think a low will be confirmed here on RSI, and I will have no reason not to look for new highs all the way up to this region here, $5.87. We'll just call that 5.90, right? And obviously closures above 5.90. I'll look for a back test of new tentative support before looking for that $7.30 region. Again, another critical region where I would be looking for heavy resistance. Again, we don't have that much price action history above that $7.30 region here, so kind of the same disposition for AMC. I would be cautious for a potential structural lower high, right, in conjunction with the all-time high here on price action. Similar to AMC, we'll go back to AMC. We'll talk about that a little bit, right? We got our high put right here, right? We got our high here. This could very easily, even if it comes all the way up to $53, this could easily prove to be a lower high, a macro lower high, which would confirm literal downtrend here, a literal longer term downtrend, and things could potentially get ugly for both of these assets if that condition is met. However, new all-time highs on an asset obviously destroys that hypothesis, destroys that theory, but we're very far away from that right now. What are we looking at? Price action to potentially continue onwards and upwards unless we hit this region here at $5.42 with resistance. At which point, I would be looking for more pullback to the $4.92 region. Maybe we see a little bit of consolidation here play out on the daily time frame. And again, it would not be out of the question to see price action pull back to the yellow 21 exponential and base the higher low there. That thesis is still very, very, very possible here. And the only thing that would prove me otherwise, again, is an open and closure below that 21, confirming a little bit of a change of behavior back into the blue box territory. At which point, I would be looking for more of a pullback all the way down to $3.75. I need some water. It's time for that Ogwa H2O. Booyah! And that's MMAT, guys. I do think MMAT is a little bit on on the bullish side right now. Although we still technically still need that higher low, right? This is a very, very, very extended period of time without seeing a higher low, so it would be very, very confident-inducing, in my opinion, to see MMAT here base a low. I am in MMAT, not deeply. I think I have 15 or 20 shares of this one that I'm mitigating risk off of, and even with 15 or 20 shares, any kind of, percentage to the green side, right, is extremely exciting from my perspective. So, confirming a higher low here, very, very confident inducing, if I say so indeed, again, if we get that confirmation, which we don't have. Remember, we don't have that confirmation. Anything can happen, and that's going to be it for MMAT. Let's go ahead and check out the Hall of Fame. A lot of talk about the Hall of Fame. Hitting that 21, right? Hit that 21, hit it with rejection. Boom, back to the downside. Holding this region here at $2.85 here as tentative support. That much is very true. We are holding that level, so the argument that a higher low structure coming into this price action here is still very valid, right? But I will not be convinced of a higher low structure until we see a candle closure above $3.05 first and foremost, with a back test to confirm it as new tentative support and continuation likely flags that that higher low arrow here on RSI. We do see a little bit of a point back up, but we could easily see that negatively sloped projection or exponential act as tentative resistance, holding price action from printing a higher low here. However, if we do confirm a higher low above this region, I will not have any reason to look for new highs past $3.38. I would actually be looking for $3.75 to the upside, which would technically formulate a legitimized uptrend. We do not have an uptrend confirmed yet. This is not a higher low. Please do not look at it as such. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but the way I see it, RSI is not calling out a low. This is not a low. We don't have absolution above the 21 exponential to confirm that low with. While we do have confirmation of support here, we are holding support. That does not mean we are seeing a low. Price action could consolidate between the resistance here at $3.05 and $2.84, but I need to see more. I need to see more play. Maybe at least 2 to 3 more days of play before potentially looking for scalp positions, or maybe we are in a consolidation period as it is right now. This is a pretty big pullback here for this asset. I do wonder what the percentage is from high to low, about 15% of a pullback here for price action. So the Hall of Fame, patience is a virtue, but from my perspective, from a trading perspective, we have a secondary confirmation below that 21 exponential, and just because of that, per my trading rule, actually third. This is a third closure below. So the fact that we remain below the 21 exponential tells me that it's very possible we see price action pull back all the way to $2.55, maybe even lower. If we do take out $2.55 on a daily candle closing basis, I would look for a bounce back up to test 285 as resistance once again, but ultimately I would be looking for lows deep into this blue box territory, and maybe it'd be time to short from my perspective. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Please read the description. But that's kind of how I'm looking at it. The Hall of Fame for stochastics here, diving below the bullish control zone, back into the neutral zone. A very, very hefty movement towards that neutral zone here. This is not healthy. Straight down is not healthy, right? This is not what we're looking for. As far as the bullish perspective is concerned, but price action still holds support, and as long as it holds support, we have a little bit of hope, in my opinion. But That 21, man, that 21 is the most important factor from my perspective to be looking for continuation to new highs, as I would be looking for a higher low structure here if we do see closures above that 21. So that's going to be the Hall of Fame for today. I do believe it is time for requests. A little bit of a shorter stream today, not too bad. We're going to check out Fubo. No time frames on any of these ones, so I'm going to stick with the daily on all of them. Fubo hitting that 21, bouncing back up, no low confirmed, although we do have a potential. I would say if we see candles close above this region here at $29.90, I would be looking for that low call on price action here, and I would be convinced we are in the precipice of a legitimized uptrend, at which point I would be targeting this region here at 31 spot 60 to the upside. However, if we reject, again, another possible consolidation phase could potentially be here. We are seeing, some pressure on the top side of the bullish control zone here. We are seeing stochastic here starting to slope over a little bit. So we do notice that the pressure is on for the bulls. If they want to see new highs in here, we at least have to put in a higher low structure here and print new highs, right? RSI back above the exponential, but not confirming a low. I do like the support of the 50 read, which is confidence, a little bit of confidence here for the bullish perspective, potentially formulating continuation of that uptrend here. And again, I would be confident if we get a low call here, and if we do get a low call here, I would be looking for new highs. However, if we see a reversion back below the 21 exponential, and more importantly, below the 27 spot 80 region here, I would be targeting moves all the way down to the prior low, somewhere around 26.30. That would be my first general target. And if we take that low out, man, long-term consolidation, continuation, potentially even further continuation to the downside is possible here for this price action. But we are well and far away from that. I don't want to get everybody on the negative side here, but I do want everybody to remember, plan for everything, man. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna sound like a broken fucking record every time I come on this stream, because I want everyone to learn to not plan for just one side, right? If you buy an asset and you're like, yep, it's just bullish, it's only bullish, it's nothing but the bullish, you're probably going to get fucked in the long run, right? You got to plan for everything. You got to plan for consolidation. You got to plan for pullbacks. You got to plan for, continuation. You got to play for bull markets, bear markets. There's so many fundamentals that you have to, prepare for from a technical standpoint. It's so important to plan, man. It's so important to plan for everything. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this price action here today. We're seeing a lot of similar price action off the 21 on a couple of these assets. That's for me, me personally, it's kind of like, all right, I gotta wait, right? I'm gonna be patient to see if we're gonna get a higher low structure. I do believe likely we see a higher low structure, but I could be very, 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 very wrong, especially if we reject, right? So that's kind of how I'm looking at Fubo here today. We're gonna move on. Peloton, haven't looked at that one in a couple of days. What's going on with Peloton? Boom! Wow. And boom, 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 indeed. So we got lower lows on stochastics here. Maybe it's the time for Peloton to start trading back to the upside. I would consider this a higher low, a macro higher low. This may be the base here for price action. I'm going to put a horizontal at that region because, in my opinion, this is now the most valid point of support that we have to consider here. We are seeing closures back above the 21 exponential. I would be looking for an open and closure above the 21 exponential for confirmation before looking for continuation to this level here. 113 bucks would be the first target to the upside, unless we see a closure below, at which point I would call lower high, and I would be looking for lows lower than 96 bucks here. And I would look for the bottom side of the bullish or bearish control zone to act as resistance, reject stochastics to the downside. But, things are lined up. Things are gearing up. We got a low off the top side of the bearish control zone. I like that. We do have a cross up in the critical zone after confirming new lows. I like that. A higher base low. So you could argue that we have bullish divergence here. No, we don't have a lower low. Well, from a stochastics perspective, yeah. We do have bullish divergence on stochastics, right? A higher low on price action in conjunction with a lower low on momentum oscillators between this point back here and this point right here. Definitely bearish damn it, English. definitely bullish divergence on the stochastics. We don't necessarily have it on RSI. We do have a higher low here on RSI, but I would be confident in saying we do have bullish divergence here on the stochastics, and that has most certainly played out to the upside. I do not think that this is done playing out to the upside. This is potentially formulating to be a signal of reversal. So we have targets. We have targets to the upside. We have targets to the downside on the daily time frame. That's going to do it for Piton. 1 USD. Absolutely disgusting price action today. Absolutely fucking heinous. Heinous moves to the upside. I am confident that this one's going for all-time highs here, which means I have to get the Fibonacci extension tool out right now and look at this structure as a whole. All-time high, base low. Bingo. Confirming this as new tentative support. This resistance flipped to new tentative support today. Today right now, I would be confident with extension to the all-time high resistance at this point here. If we break the all-time high today, which we are using as tentative resistance at the current moment in time, breaking above that resistance today would lead me to believe continuation to the 1.272 Fibonacci extension zone at 24 cents is very likely, at which point I would be looking for a little bit of a pullback, and that, I'm going to mark that off as an area of interest. Again, anytime we see new all-time highs, we're looking for areas of interest for potential selling, for take profits, bots and algorithms, yada, yada, yada. So we can't automatically assume that price action is going to meet this region, close at this region, and then continue. We're going to have to expect some sell pressure, right? New all-time highs, people are going to hit that sell button, right? We do see stochastics here curling, continuing onwards and upwards. A little bit of a fake falsie here, but reverted back to the upside, basically bouncing off the bottom side of the bullish control zone, putting in new highs. I like this for continuation, to be quite honest with you. RSI, seeing a little bit of that, again, that little bit of that sell pressure here. The momentum to the downside is there. We are hitting, all-time high targets here, right? We are basically, we basically met all-time high on 1 USD. So sell-offs, you got to kind of, expect a little bit of a sell-off. So I will be looking for tentative support along this region here, at which point, if confirmed, new all-time highs, baby, is what I'm going to be looking for. I have no reason not to look for all-time highs unless again, we see some kind of disgusting flash crash below 13 cents, below the 21 exponential. That's the only point in time where I'd be like, yeah, maybe we don't see that. Maybe we don't see that. We have a higher low here. So, 2 days, 2 days after the higher low, not looking for another high. I'm looking for continuation for this one. One looks really good. Definitely, trading counter trend. CRO USD, CRO USD, crypto.com versus US dollar. I guess Bitrex. Kind of the same. I don't like this. I don't like that here. This is resistance. We have hit this a couple of times. First time, boom. Second time, boom. Momentum definitely does not paint a beautiful picture. Fresh cross below the top side of the bullish control zone here. We do have a little bit of bullish divergence playing out off the 21. I am confident as long as price action remains above the 21, I would be looking for extension to this resistance once again at 20 cents. And if we break 20 cents, I would have no reason not to look for price action to move all the way to 24 cents here. However, if we close below this support level here, which we are putting a little bit of pressure on at the current moment in time, any closure below that would be indicative of a closure below the 21 exponential, at which point I would look for a back test to confirm his new tentative support before looking for the first target to the downside at 14 cents, which would potentially be indicative of a change of behavior, and I would look for a downtrend to start formulating. Top call, bullish divergence, still below the exponential on the RSI, looking to use that region as tentative resistance, not too good. Stochastics crossing sharply below the critical read here into the bullish control zone. I don't like that read, so the pressure is on for the bulls if they want to continue this uptrend, but the trend is still valid. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend, and I would say the trend would come to an end with any closure below 16 cents. So that's going to do it for CRO USD on the daily, and I think that's going to do it for the stream. It is a little bit on the shorter side. It is what it is. So that's going to wrap it up for today's stream, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the comments. If you guys like the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. It helps the YouTube algorithm, give us a little bit more visibility so we can try to grow a little bit here with our channel. And until next time, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for today. See y'all tomorrow. And until next time, stay safe.